Hi.
Let's listen to the music, relax, and have fun.
Hi, this is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Madonna.
Hi, we're the Sugar Babes.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney.
Hey, this is Kylie.
Hi, this is Simon Cowell.
Hey, it's Katy Perry.
Hi, we're Take That.
You're in the mix with
LDM Radio.
Standing by for transmission.
The coolest station online. Yeah, that's us. 'Cause we play this.
Hello, and welcome to the second part of Speak Out. Again, this is a podcast, but I am actually showing you guys my face. This way we can speak a little bit closer and more intimate, because this is about depression and suicide. So this is the reason why you're actually watching me in the engineer room today. So we're actually going to be opening up the phone lines as well. I'll let you know the phone numbers to that soon, so you guys can call in and either tell me your stories or, tell me any questions or ask me any questions you might have. So, I just want to thank everyone that's been watching the first part. It was crazy to think how many people will watch it, but actually a lot of people did. So I want to thank you for that as well. Excuse me right here, because I'm just going online right now to make sure we are broadcasting and people can see us as we speak. So first of all, how was everyone's day? Hopefully everybody from a scale of 1 to 10 has been like a 6 maybe, or at least a 5. Normal people will probably be 3, 2, but as people with depression and everything, a good day is probably a 4, because we're below the average. So that is a good thing to know. So if your day is good, hey, great. But just to recap, last week we were speaking about to understanding your triggers as a person with depression or anxiety, and everything else that builds into the thought of suicide. So just to recap, I mentioned that to keep a journal or diary, but this is not a journal or diary of, today I washed my dishes. I was speaking about a journal or diary of when you were triggered. When did you feel the depression? Write down that time. What were you doing during this course of you getting the depression or the anxiety at the same time? So these are the things that I was saying to do as you go on. Write it down. Even if you don't have depression, but someone called you, write that down. What time they called you? What were they doing, or how were they acting? And when you go back to the triggers, and you probably start noticing a pattern. So I always say, if you know the problem, then there should be a solution. And the solution is not to do those things, not to go there, not to do whatever triggered, continue triggering the issue, if that makes any sense. I spoke about last week about if you're going to a store and that store triggers every time it triggers something to you. But you didn't notice, but you wrote it down. Then don't go to that store no more. There's many other stores. You know what I mean? So that this would be somewhat helpful to you to do, in sense of that you understand what is triggering your depression or your anxiety, or even bipolar people. But I can't speak about them too much. We always have a joke and say they Germanize, but because I don't have it, so I can't really speak upon what I don't have. You understand? So clues that I did was I started writing down things that started my episodes, in other words, or my triggers. So these are the things that you want to do when you write down. That's what we were speaking about last week. So these are the great things to accomplish and to pretty much exercise what you want to do. Again, excuse me, I'm in the engineer room. This is normally a podcast, so you normally do not hear me. I'm sorry, do not see me, but you normally would hear me on the radio station, which they are hearing me now on the radio station, so which is pretty much a good thing. But since it's a special, I wanted you guys to see so we can, pretty much see eye to eye and speak about it. So I would love, same thing like last week, to hear your thoughts about all this and stories and things like that would be great. And not only grateful, but helpful, if you understand what I mean. I'm just shocked because I see it said live, and then it had we were live for 3 hours. We only been live for 6 minutes. So somebody's trying to help rush us off. No. So, but anyway, those are part ones. Part one is writing down your triggers. That helps so much. There's certain things you can't control. Even though that's your trigger, but you can't control. It could be a neighbor that, gets you depressed or gives you your anxiety going up because, we do live around non-common sense people, and it does trigger half of the time. So hopefully by you writing these things down, it would help. It would help you, more in more ways than you think. So these are things that you have to look forward to, and look forward to do and to do well. You know what I mean? So just keep in mind that when you are doing these things, it helps you to narrow it down, and get to the point of what makes it point. Because when you get to the point where you can't fight it no more, the suicide thoughts will start coming in. It's hard to control, and many people that don't have depression or suicide thoughts, they would not understand it. So because I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot from people where they say that wow, I can't understand. Yesterday he was okay, and then today he took his life, or he or she. Well, that's the problem. A lot of people that don't have depression do not understand why they do it. Some people with depression don't even understand why they do that. So this is why I tell you to write down everything that you were doing that caused you to have a depression or have the anxiety. And when you go back to that book, you will notice that you have found some of your triggers. And, once you find some of those triggers, you just slow down doing those things, and it will help you a whole lot. Right now, a lot of people that are being triggered by depression and everything, is the ones that are a little bit different. You're closed up. You don't understand how to express yourself, or even with mental illness, LGBTs, people with handicaps. These are all type of people that will probably have more depression because they don't know how to explain themselves to people, and they feel so different and out of place that it's hard for them to explain it to you and explain it to someone that don't even know. That's like a blue color trying to explain to a yellow why they darker. It's kind of hard. You can't do it. So this is why it causes them to have more depression to it. So another thing that we were speaking about the last time was people without it who try to console to help the person with it. There are certain words and certain things you cannot tell a person with depression because it makes their depression even higher. So there's words like, "Don't worry, I understand what you feel." Hey, Frankie, how you feel. Some of them is like, "No, you don't. You never had it." So I'm here for you. Yeah, but you're here for me until you're not. So, there are certain things that you have to watch what you say. This is like really be careful what you say. It's not this new thing of, oh, be careful what you say because they're going to cancel you. That has nothing to do with it. This is very different. This is more be careful, and has been going on for many, many centuries, of be careful what you say because some words can trigger. And it's hard to understand it. But this is the life that we have been going through and everything. But, sorry, I was a little thirsty there. But if you have any comments, comment below. I would love to find out, like, how do you guys fight your depression, or how do you help other people fight the depression? Because I tell you this much, like I said last week, suicide for a person, it's going to be there. So even if you try to help them fight it, you're not there the 24 hours a day with that person. It's impossible to be. Unless you're a filthy rich person and don't have to go to work and you can follow this person every single day and all day. But if you can't, you're not with that person every day. So we have to try to find out how to help them help themselves during the times they are alone, if that makes any sense to you. And that's what a lot of the awareness is for. I heard so many people in even in my studios, even when I'm outside in the streets, I hear a lot of people saying, "Wow, the person was so young," or "Wow, I can't believe he did that. He was all happy and running around and doing this." This is called the acting of depression people. They are very good actors. Sometimes they're not acting. Sometimes their mood has them so happy, they okay, So sometimes their mood has them so sad that they have to act now because they don't want to bring that environment around anyone, if that makes any sense to you guys. So, again, if you have suicide thoughts, or anything, like I said, I want to hear some of the stories. I want to know. I know what I do to slow it down. I know what I have to do to help things out. But I would love to hear what you guys heard of that help people, or what you have done. Because it's very incredible how this has been pushed to the side and is only brought up when a celebrity has committed suicide from depression. It's the only time you hear a lot of people speak about it which I think is sad that the person took their lives, but it's sad that it has to take a celebrity to get people to talk when there's thousands others, regular people, each day committing suicide. Why we never speak about it? Is it a black, one of those dark secrets in your house that you don't want to speak about, the black sheep of the family type of thing? Because we need to speak about it. We don't need to wait until a big-time celebrity passed away. Yeah, that's a wake-up call because, wow, they're celebrities. You never even thought they had depression. Robert Williams is the perfect example. A comedian. But, again, he's an actor. So he laughs. He makes you guys laugh and for you guys not to feel his pain. So that happens. It happens. So, again, thank you guys for watching here. Jahira, how I was doing. Listening to music helps my depression during my teen tears. Also playing softball because that helped me release my anger and any feelings I had. Thank you for sharing that. That's a good thing to know. A lot of times, I called myself a master of all trades. I mean, a jack of all trades and a master of none. And it's because I tried to learn every little thing around me because I didn't want to feel what I was feeling. So I understand what you're saying. My martial arts years, I won many trophies, many awards because of the anger I brought out fighting and the depression mindset. So it's a good thing. So I'm glad you know how to fight that. But you also said on your teen tears. So a lot of teenagers fall into the family of depression, but not so much as a depression, if you understand what I mean. Because it falls more than sadness, but less than depression. They fall in the middle because teenagers is more peer pressure. Depression is what I call the peer pressure depression. They want to do that, but they don't want to do it, but they have to do it because of their other friends. Now, here comes the sadness part. Here comes the closure part. So the anger part comes involved. So after a while, you get away from that. You become a better person. Some people don't get away from it, and it develops into depression. So as adults, we have to watch the teenagers as well. The one trigger is the peer pressure that a lot of teenagers have to go through, or the I don't know how to call it, but the way they need to act. Like all teenagers need to act this certain way. Or I was brought up with 5 guys, and if you looked at us, you were like, "Wow, y'all best friends?" And we're like, "Yeah," because you got one guy that looks like a rocker, myself that always was in khakis, another guy that was always like in the hip hop, but we all had one thing in common, and that was the love for each other. We didn't care, Now, I listened to hip hop because my friend listened to it, so I wanted to know why he listened. He listened to country because I listened. We listened to rock because the other guy listened. So we made sure that we had something in common. But nowadays, no. If you don't do what I do or listen to what I do, I don't want to hang with you. And that's the problem when it comes with teenagers. She said years. I understand. You said teen tears, but I was like, okay. But yeah, she said teen years. So, which is explainable. It works in many, many different ways. So understand that when you go through this, there are other people that's probably going through it too. So I know some people would say, hey, anytime you need an ear, man, I'm here. Yes and no. Yes and no. When it comes to people with depression, they don't want to call 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and tell you they're having depression, because at that time, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're waking a person up. Self-consciously, you want to get off that phone, and the other person on the other side can feel that. by the tone of your voice, like you don't want to hear it. You want to get off the phone because you're tired, you're sleepy. So it's like Hollywood talk. That's what I always say. Hey, when you're in the area, come on by, Come on to my house. Yeah, I didn't really mean that. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, watch what you say. If you're going to be an ear, be an ear. Really, really listen. Don't hear them. Listen to them. If you're speaking to them in front of them, watch their body language. Depression people that are in the mount of, because suicide will not tell you, but they will show you. They won't say, I'm going to kill myself tomorrow and you ain't going to do nothing about it. They don't do that. They'll tell you in many different ways. Body language, words that they say, hugs that they never gave to no one before. Forgiveness is another one. They'll go to everybody and say, hey, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. These are things that what we call closure, where we are, as depression people, want to make sure everything is done and closed with before we move on. So when they start doing that, that's a key. Watch it. Watch them. So as I was learning about a lot of people that cause depression, committed suicide, I asked the person, how were they acting before? Many people get upset, oh, why? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter because this helps us understand the clues. And many of them were hugs out of nowhere. Saying bye. See you later was their thing, but all of a sudden now they say goodbye. Hey, are you going to come around? Maybe. It's another clue. So these are little clues that as a regular person, you can understand. And I'm giving them from a sense of people that I heard what they did. I never got to that closure part. I just tried it. And lucky I'm still here. So, but there are people that gives it to them. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I was eating Chinese rice and it went down the wrong throat. But you want to understand them. So there are people, what I call the rooftop suicide people. A lot of people are like, oh my God, we need to put him to a psychiatrist because he has probably depression and everything. No, he don't. Sorry to say, majority of them do not have depression. When a person is going to commit suicide by either jumping off the roof or putting a gun or something like that, it's a cry for help. So I don't want, again, like in part one, I don't want people to get confused with it. Depression people don't tell you. They just wind up doing it. So it's kind of hard for you to even find out until it's too late. You never heard a person going to commit suicide and call people and talking about, I'm going to jump. Oh, I'm going to go over there. No, don't bother coming. And when you get there, they still there because it's a cry for help. Something is bothering them. Something they want to talk about. Maybe they want attention. Who knows? But your job is to get them off that roof. It's the same thing with the depression person. You need to get them off that roof. I'm not saying literally off the roof, but, because we would not tell you that's going to happen. It's just going to happen. So hopefully that would help people that are watching that don't have depression look for the clues. We're trying to help suicide awareness and suicide prevention. So hopefully these things will help you. If you haven't seen part one, watch part one as well. And again, shout outs to some of the people that made me do this video without knowing. Some of our shows, such as the comment section, they had a thing about suicide, and I was hearing a lot of wrong things about it. So I said to them I was going to do one. The Out in the Open, they were speaking about how LGBT has a lot of depression, and some of the people don't understand. So these are the things that I had to make sure that we understand what is depression, what is sadness, and what's a cry out for help. It's a hard thing to, how you call it, to diagnose. But if you diagnose it wrong, it could be very, very upsetting. So, and even the doctors get it wrong sometimes, because some people be like, I'm depressed, and then they find out later on they got sadness, and they gave them all these pills. So, but again, thank you guys for your comments that y'all been giving. Jahira for watching. A couple other people are watching and listening. And taking it in. I'm hoping writing it down too. So, you know, it's hard to explain it when it's to someone that don't understand it. So watch it. Happiness comes from laughter, is what they say, right? Sometimes it don't. Sometimes happiness comes from just someone being there. You ever went on a road trip with someone and didn't hardly say anything, but you came back and you had the best time of your life? Sometimes that's what a depression person needs, just someone just to, to be there. I had that one person all the time. Matter of fact, there was times where it was like a sixth sense. He would call me and be like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, just sitting here. He said, all right, cool. Turn on the video game. Let's go play. For some reason, he already felt like I was hitting the depression stage or something, which sometimes he was right. Didn't know how he knew, but I guess we were brought up together since birth. It happens. But then when he passed away of cancer, my thought was, now who is going to be my person to hide the gun, and for say, not a real gun, but hide the gun from me, in other words, you understand? So I had to learn even harder to find my triggers, and that's what I wanted you guys to understand, to find your trigger, okay? That's the best thing you guys can do at all times. Listening to music is so good. Now, if you listen to music and if it starts your trigger, then, because sometimes people listen to sad songs just to cry. Sometimes they say you need sometimes to cry to clear your soul, which does work. Sometimes tears do help. Sadness sometimes do help. But if they're reaching it to a level where you can't control, then you need to, diffuse that, in other words. So, but understandable. It's give me a second. I'm just answering someone. It's understandable where you need to figure out a lot more of how people react to things. You understand? So watching them is a very, very, observing what they do and how they do it. Because you're supposed to know who your friend is. If you're really a close friend and a person that's been watching them, you will understand their body language and their speeches. Some people with depression get kind of loud and kind of aggressive. People would thinking that person has the attitude. It's not that. It's they don't know how to explain themselves, so they get like tensed up and have attitudes because they don't know how to speak out, in other words. So, and same way like I told you before, sometimes it's people around you that are your triggers. So maybe you don't want to be around those certain people because they start a trigger, So you have to understand where it comes from. So write it down. Write it down every time that you feel a certain trigger or something. Just write that thing down. Go back to it after a week of all these writing and all these triggers. The next week, when it happens again, look to see, did it happen last week in that same spot, doing the same thing? If it does, twice, might be a coincidence. Try it, like, if it does it 3 or 4 times, then you definitely know that it's not a coincidence, it's a trigger. So you need to fight that trigger and fight it well. So it's gonna be hard and gonna be a pretty good thing to do, but one thing is it needs to be done. So I'm looking here, trying to see all these comments, but it's a great thing to see and to do. So, but again, keeping up appearance or keeping up smiles is something that a depression person does. When they want to be alone, it's hard. Sometimes we just want to be alone, but it doesn't mean that we end up deep depression. We just want to be alone to regroup ourselves, get to know what we understand and what we want to do, things like that. That's the one thing that we would love to do and understand. Because there's days that I just want to be home, and it's not because I'm depressed. It's because I want to, rewind my life, regroup myself, because I was getting to that point of the highest where I could not go anymore. So you don't want to get to that point, so that's why. But when some people do get to that point where they want to be at home, call them a couple of times, check them out. Look for the excuse to go to them. Don't automatically say, hey, I heard, I felt like you were sad and I wanted to come. Sometimes it gets them frustrated because maybe they didn't want nobody to know. You understand? So just be like, hey, I was bored. So I thought I would, hang out with you, or if you're not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So make it about like you or not about them in that sense of the matter, if that makes any sense. So you have to watch when that comes into play. So sorry about that. But music, like Jajira said, playing sports, perfect. Go wind up playing some sports. Go wind up doing something that would keep your mind pretty much occupied. So, but again, like I said, if you notice that person has depression and you want to go help, don't go to the house and say, hey, I felt that you had depression and I figured I know, so I want to sit here and make sure you're okay and you ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, that's not gonna fly with us. That just triggers some of the people even more because now you made them more upset. Like you're trying to make them like they a burden to you. So instead of saying that, maybe you was like, hey, I'm kind of bored. I thought you wanted to hang out. You want to go hang out? Come on, man. The person probably be like, nah, I just want to stay home. All right, cool. Get whatever you do. Get some beer, whatever you do, just for that person won't be alone, but don't make it seem like you're just babysitting them. That's the way to go. The person with depression will feel like, okay, someone does care for me. I'm not a burden to them. And that helps their depression go down. So like I said, sometimes the caretaker's actions plays a good part on it. I don't know what was the mindset of the model who committed suicide. Don't know the mindset of Robert Williams, but with Robert Williams, I can tell you this much, where through his course of his life, he was so busy and so busy, he fought that. But then when he was in the semi-retirement, it's where he couldn't fight it. Like, he wasn't, didn't teach himself to. So things like that happen. So it's understandable, but we have to understand where we need to go and where we need to come from to understand where these people are at the moment, if that makes any sense to you. But you guys have been listening here to LDM Speak Out on the LDM radio station podcast. So if you want to hear more of the Speak Out, this is more of a laid-back Speak Out. Normally I'm debating and talking about the right and wrong of the government and all that, but today we had to make it a little smooth. So you can go to ldmradio.com, click on the podcast, and you see many different podcasts there from the radio station, as well as the Speak Out podcast. So, and if you're on the radio station, you can listen to many of the other talk shows, which are not podcasts, they are live. So once they're done, their audio is done. But you can go check them out as well. But we had so many comments last week where I was so sorry I couldn't get to every single one, because it was just I'm trying to get to it now. It was just overwhelming with some of the comments, but there was a couple of them where I wanted to get to, where, if I can get to it right now. Oh no, real-time comments. I didn't want to get there. It's not showing me, but I don't want to keep clicking on it. But there was comments where a lot of people said the music helps. Some people said it don't. But every single one said that activities help more. So that is pretty much a great thing to do. And Shirley Phillips just came out and said, many suffers in silence. Yes, Shirley, and that's what I was speaking about today. Today and part one of the depression, how many people with depression are very good actors. Many people that did not or does know me did not really know me and never even knew I had manic depression, anxiety, and sleep disorder. But I act well. I do my stand-up. I do my talk show. I do this. But there are days where I can't, but I have to fight it. So I'm speaking to people, teenagers and all, how to fight this and how to get tools to help them. And one thing that I want to tell everyone, even if you do the tools that I'm doing or do the stuff that I do to fight it, it doesn't mean that, okay, I got it under control now, I can stop. No, every single day is a fight. So it's like herpes simplex 10. It's never going to go away. You know what I'm saying? So you always want to make sure you fight it and continue the fight. So again, keywords of triggers. You need to learn how to write everything down every time you have one, to see the patterns of yourself. So that is a good thing. Keep your little journal, your diary of everything you do. Down from food, down to people. All the way from food to people, anything can be a trigger. So again, if it's twice, it might be a coincidence. 3 to 4 times, it's your trigger. So you found out one of your triggers, don't do it again. Don't go there. Don't even talk to that one person if they're a trigger. If that one person knocks on your door and every time your anxiety goes up, your depression kicks in, you need to cut that person. Tell that person, hey, listen, whatever you want to tell them. I'm bold. So I'll just tell them, listen, you're causing me to have more depression and anxiety. Don't come knocking on my door no more. I'm straight because I feel my life is first than anybody. I have kids. I have a wife. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hit that depression, suicide mark again in my life. Once was enough. You know, that's it. And once was too much. So exercise help produce feel-good chemicals in the brain. Yes. I'm gonna leave the texts, the comments there as they pop up. But yeah, exercise do help to some people. Some people too weak; they can't exercise. But exercise really helps a lot because it not only exercises your brain, it gets your body so tired that you do not want to do anything else. But lay down, relax, go to sleep. Bam, you lived another day. You understand? Finding out a goal when you do your exercise is great. When I was a martial artist, I exercised and did a kick. And I kept doing that kick. Even at nighttime, I was thinking about that kick until I got it perfectly. That was a goal. Now I had to get another goal and continue doing that. Finding your goal. For people with depression that don't want to be outside too much or don't want to be around people, which I was one of them, the tools that I did, and I'm saying me because I'm not saying that it worked for every single person. The tools that I did was, instead of doing a whole grocery for a month like a normal person does, or a week like a normal person does, I didn't do grocery. I went out every single day to get the meat that I'm going to cook, the rice or whatever I'm going to make for dinner or lunch. I used to go out to get it that day. Some people were like, oh, but you're going to spend a lot more money because you didn't buy in bulk, or you didn't buy big, or you didn't buy this. Yeah, but that causes me to force me to go out and get something, if that makes any sense. A lot of times, because I learned that was my trigger. I used to get everything in one shot. And on the weekends when I didn't have nothing to do or they didn't have to go to work, I wouldn't go outside, and depression went up. So then I started learning, hey, let me force myself to go out and get that one meat that I'm going to cook. You know, there's certain things that you can't prevent getting in bulk, like a bag of rice and stuff like that. But certain things, instead of getting so much of it, get it that day. You know, you got to go shopping for shirts, pants, and all this. Maybe get your shirt. Next day, if possible, go get the pants. So you understand? So it forces you to go out and do something instead of getting everything in one shot. Help for me, maybe it will help for everybody else. And I still do that sometimes. So, there's times when I be like, listen, once I'm inside, I ain't going back outside. So I try to get it before I go. But there's certain times where now I go inside. I'm like, nope, I ain't going back outside. I don't care what. Oh man, I don't got no food to eat today. I gotta go outside. You understand? So it forces a person to go outside. So for a depression person, maybe that little thing will help you as well. So keep that in mind when you, when you're feeling. For the people with a lot of depressions, I'm going to tell you this much: the food bringing it in, like Grubhub, DoorDash, and all that. I don't know if it's a good thing for us, because now it's forcing you to stay home. So to me, I would stay away from that. If I got to go to McDonald's, instead of me calling someone to bring me it, maybe I'll walk it. That nice walk will give me energy to do stuff. Especially when it's kind of sunny outside, even though it's kind of cold maybe, but the sun. But that walk will clear your mind a little, instead of waiting for a person to bring it to you all the time and not coming out your house. Because now society, the way things are, is causing a lot more depression on the person that already had it. And they don't even understand and know what's going on. Like, oh, I wasn't this depressed, and now all of a sudden I am. Well, one of the things is you're not going out. You're not going outside. So that's one of the reasons. So maybe cut I'm not saying don't do DoorDash and all that stuff all the time, because I do call for Pizza Hut, stuff like that, as a family when we have pizza day. But at the same time, I'm not going to call for little tiny things that I could have gone 2 blocks down and get. You know what I'm saying? So try to stay away from that. Working out is good. Like Shirley said, exercising is good. Exercising your body helps your brain, but also exercising your mind helps your brain as well. Thinking, what's your next move, writing stuff down, it helps so much. I keep a pen and paper next to my bed. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be like, ooh, I got a problem that I now I know what to do, and I used to write it down. But now that I have the phone, I can just talk to my phone and it'll write it down. Even though sometimes that voice spelling thing says something totally different, but I understand. So these are little things that could help you. So I'm hoping that all these little things that I was speaking about can help you or help someone that you know that has it. So I want to thank everyone for commenting and watching. Please like and share this video. It might save a life. You never know. I'm Charles Laloma, and this is Speak Out, and hope you have a great, great day. So check you out. Bye-bye.